My name is Endre Hules. I'm a director, writer, actor. Started out in the theater in Hungary. I was directing at the National Theater. Then I moved to the States. Actually, I lived in Paris for a while. I taught at the conservatory there. And then I moved to the States. I directed theater and taught theater at various universities, New York University, University of Southern California, and went to the American Film Institute, where I was a producing fellow and kept working as an actor, but I also started writing screenplays. And I sold about a dozen screenplays before I started directing. And I directed the documentary that was at ECU and then a couple of other films, and I'm still working. Well, 2006 was the 50th anniversary of the Hungarian uprising against the Soviet Union. And so there was a lot of talk about 1956. And we decided to do a film that was comprehensive, because there were over 100 films made at the same time, and they were all like, we do interviews with a couple of people, mostly the people who were participating in the uprising, and they used a couple of clips from wherever they could find it. And what we wanted to do was something that deals with the whole event in the context of the Cold War, in the worldwide context, and we wanted to do a real documentary. In other words, no narration. We don't give you our opinion, we give you the interviews and we give you the footage, and then you make up your own mind. And so we started with the Yalta Conference, when Eastern Europe was basically given to the Soviet Union, and ended the story with the withdrawal of the Russian troops from Eastern Europe. So we had dealt with that whole period, and then during the uprising we went day by day of what happened in Hungary, what happened in Moscow, what happened in the UN, what happened in the United States. The Suez War happened at the same time. So basically dealt with the whole situation, and we tried to ask everybody from every side. So we talked to the Russian soldiers who were fighting in Hungary. We talked to the Hungarian revolutionaries, of course, but we also talked to like the Secret Service torturers who were operating in Hungary before and after the uprising. We also talked to people who were working at the UN, we interviewed Henry Kissinger about the diplomatic situation. We talked to Otto von Habsburg about the whole historical arc of what happened before, and how he saw the whole thing, the biographer of Khrushchev, the biographer of Eisenhower. So basically tried to get a full picture of the whole thing, and all around the ideological spectrum, both in Hungary and in Europe. And that seems to have engendered a lot of interest in the film, and we won a bunch of awards, including audience awards ahead of feature films at festivals, and including the ECU, which was invited us and kindly showed the film. We shot a lot of footage in the US with immigrants, and also the Western. We have talked to a lot of historians, including, as I said, the biographer of Khrushchev and Eisenhower, and just the historians. We also shot in Hungary, did a lot of interviews with politicians on both sides. We went to Moscow, where we talked to the general who led the Hungarian invasion, and as well as some soldiers who were fighting and stationed in Hungary before or after. We shot in Italy, where we talked to the Italian communists who were initially for the Soviet invasion, and then just basically how the Soviet Union lost its footing in Eastern Europe and in Western Europe. And the Western European Communist parties sort of got disillusioned with the whole idea of communism. So yes, we did a lot of traveling, and we had over 300 hours of interviews and a lot of footage. We were very lucky because we had our producers were two great cinematographers in Hollywood, Vilmos Zsigmond and Laszlo Kovács, who Vilmos was an Academy Award winner, but they were shooting footage during the uprising in Hungary. And actually they carried it out in a backpack. And so we had the most amazing footage, the best documented revolution of the period, thanks to their help and intervention. They also arranged us to get this footage for free, which would have cost us enormous amounts otherwise. I was very grateful that the festival showed our film, and apparently the reception was good, both from the audience and from the festival. So we were very happy with that. I did two other projects soon after that, two feature films, which this is my only documentary. So I was mostly concerned with dramatic material, and so I did another one that was called Prima Primavera that I was a writer on, and then I did another one that's called The Maiden Dance, or The Maiden Dance to Death, depending on which. In Europe it was The Maiden Dance to Death. Europe is a little more dramatic than the United States. It was a Canadian, Hungarian, Slovenian co-production. And they both had a very good reception, won a bunch of awards in various festivals. And I sold another half a dozen screenplays, and 3 of them were close to production, and then COVID came, and so they are and then the whole production system got completely confused and mixed up, and then the actor strikes was last year, and so we're sort of trying to keep them alive, and then we'll see what happens. But haven't completed a film in the last couple of years. Well, my teacher's advice was perseverance, perseverance, perseverance. I mean, there are opportunities, and you will meet them, and you will know if you caught them by the neck or not. But you really just have to work, and it's impossible, but if you still want to do it, then go for it.